Do-do-do-do-do. Oh, he also had something for me, I think. Hence why it's in yellow. Welcome back. I got your message about that missing shipment. How can I help? He nods. Aye, a gang from nearby Kias has been hijacking shipments bound for the Cruise Bazaar, taking money out of our pockets. I could use your help to stop this from happening. Your dear departed Monica used to provide encryption and information control for the Cruise Bazaar. Now that she's gone, we merchants have been having no end of trouble. The obvious answer is that a gang has been intercepting our communications. So what kind of communications? Shipping manifests, payment orders, that kind of thing. A group with an agenda could use that information to set up an ambush, and that's just what this gang has been doing. Several cargo trucks full of goods have already been hijacked en route to the Cruise Bazaar. I had a tracking device placed on the last shipment that I sent out. Containers full of weapons and medical supplies. Sure enough, it got taken, and I've tracked it to Gessenbrunnen. If you've never been there, it's a kiosk built out of an old U-Bahn station and some old bunkers. Rumor has it a new gang called the Rabengeister is holed up there. I suspect that the two things are related. So I need you to go to Gessenbrunnen and the Rabengeister and get our goods back. I can offer you 500 new yen for the task, and if you can recover a missing weapon shipment, I'll be able to sell you better hardware too. Can you tell me anything else about this gang? He frowns. Not much, I'm afraid. From what I've heard, the Ravengeister are tricky. They have a reputation for stirring up trouble, then disappearing without a trace. I would tread carefully in the Gösenbrunnen if I were you. And how do I get there? Just take the U-Bahn. The line still runs, though not many folks stop at Gösenbrunnen anymore. The market there used to be something of a tourist attraction, but I think they've fallen on hard time recently. I'll take care of it. Good. It's about time I had some new inventory come in. And one more thing, Afer. I'm going to need you to go light on this one. Take a friend along if you like, but no more than one. If you spook them, they could trash the merchandise. Best go quiet. Best go soon, too, before the trail goes cold. What's up, dude? I got your message. What did you want to discuss? Business. I have a job for you. I'm a little surprised you want to hire me. We haven't always seen eye to eye. That's right, we haven't, but I'm confident that you're the right woman for the job. Why? Because I know that you're in a bad spot, and I know that you're going to need all the help you can get if you want to claw your way back out of it. As it happens, I can supply some of help in the form of cutting-edge biotech, very helpful stuff for a runner in a bind. But before I can do that, you'll need to do this job for me. Alright, I'm listening. Good. So let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Back before I emigrated here from my native Spain, I worked in partnership with a Berlin-based R&D lab. The biotech they were developing was very hush-hush, very cutting-edge. Our arrangement was that I would bankroll the research and that they, in turn, would provide me with unique merchandise to sell in my clinics. Clinics? You had more than one? Certainly. I must confess that, before I moved to Berlin, I was something of a celebrity doctor. I had a chain of triage clinics that stretched from Bilbao to Madrid. I was a very wealthy man. But then my name was slandered, and the fickle mistress of his public perception turned against me. An ugly business, I assure you. Even talking about my fall from grace makes my stomach turn. The injustice of it all was almost too much to bear. Just how was your name slandered? What did they accuse you of? He sighs. What didn't they? Theft, medical malpractice, the sale of stolen goods, other more colorful accusations that do not bear repeating. But that was then, and this is now. I came to Berlin to escape all of that. Of course, I also moved here to be closer to the lab that I'd funded and the merchandise that I am owed. So let me guess. You want me to go fetch your merchandise? Yes, and to find out what happened to the lab itself. The facility is locked down, you see, nearly impenetrable, and I have no idea why. As I was packing to move to Berlin, all was well. 16 hours later, I arrived to discover the building locked tight with my merchandise inside. Turk Alstug has been running surveillance on the site since I set up shop here. Hiccups. In that time, no one has entered and no one has left. Whatever went wrong in there, it must have killed the research team. I want you to find a way into the building, recover the cybertech that they were developing, and find out what happened to the researchers in that order. If the building has been abandoned, I'm surprised that the lot it's sitting on hasn't been gobbled up by some corp or other. Don't be. Back when I was a wealthy man, before my legal troubles, I paid the lease for a decade in advance. And before you say anything, yes, it was a huge expense. But what's locked away inside of that lab is worth 10 times what I spent on it. I don't want anyone laying claim to it but me. If your merchandise has been sitting in that building for 2 years, why didn't you approach Monica about this? Who says that I didn't? I had a, let us say, tumultuous friendship with your dear departed Monica. We had our ups and downs, you see, and on this subject she was most certainly down. That was her choice. I am hoping that you'll be savvy enough to not make the same mistake. All right, let's talk compromisation. What's in this for me? I can't afford to pay you in new yen, and that's your own fault, by the way. You shut off a good chunk of revenue when you pulled that stunt down in the sewers, but what I can give you is my first crack at any biotech that you recover from this site and make it available to you at a discount. This is top of the line ware that we're talking about, mind you, better than anything else I've got in stock, and because it's biotech, the essence lost from implanting it will be minimal. It's a good deal. Win-win for you, really. So what's it gonna be? Will you take the job or not? Alright, I'm in. Excellent. The facility that you're looking for is in the former laboratory of the Sutherland Bioscience. Take the U-Bahn to Adenerplatz. I hope you enjoy this, Adju, and we're sure to find it. Best of luck. Do you have anything new to say? Simi Kim leans against the wall, her head downcast and her face lost in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by concealer, and she still smiles at you. Hello, Afer. How are you? Better than you, it looks like. We can't all be runners. Is there something going on around here? There's always something going on. It's the flux, right? It gives, it takes, sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends that disappear, family that dies, people like Monica. I don't much like the flux. In The Sims, you can have the same happy day over and over. You can stick past the parts you don't like, or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of real life I'd want to play over, and plenty of parts I wish I could skip. How'd you end up in the Cruise Bazaar? I don't know. I was living on the street since I was a kid. Had no family, no home. I got mixed up with some bad people, and I had a bad day. I ended up owing them money. Too much money. I got beat up. Pretty bad. Needed a doctor, but couldn't pay for one. Then I found Doc Esquivel. Or he found me. I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front. But he said I had to come back for medicine every month until it was time to pay him back. And I did. I took the medicine just like he said. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? You take care of yourself. Whatever I have to do. Okie dokie. Let's go on some of those missions, shall we? Where does this one go? Oh, it doesn't matter. I can go to wherever I want. Let's do the Luca. I think this one he said it was time limited, I think. So let's go to the Goosenbrunnen U-Bahn station to look at Gunnari's missing shipments. Hard times. It is a short train ride to the Goosenbrunnen. You exit the subway car, stepping onto the old grungy platform. The place is deserted, though signs of life are everywhere. A gaping hole in the ceiling filters cool, hazy light in from above. To your right, a small plot of crops struggles to endure in the cold and the limited light of the station. Trash and junk litters the platform. It's clear this place hasn't had anything resembling a janitorial staff in quite some time. Somewhere in this old, rundown U-Bahn station lies the entrance to Goosenbrunnen Kies, and hopefully some leads on the whereabouts of the Ravengeister and Gunnari's missing shipment. Oh yeah, he has this little drone with him now. Ah, it's so cute! Look at it! Inspect. The stairwell looks to have been completely collapsed. I like how there's just nothing here because it's the fog of war. Oh no, it's just because it's a hallway. Okay. I'm smart, I swear. Hey, guard. An older man raises his... Oop, I skipped a line. That's far enough, friend. An older man raises his hand, squinting as you approach. To his left, a young orc shifts his weight, raising one hand casually on a pistol at his hip. Both are dressed in what we consider uniforms, but it's hard to tell for sure. We don't get many visitors down here these days, and you'll forgive me for saying, but, well, you don't really look like the type that usually come through here. She looks fed, for one thing. The older man snorts. Indeed, so what brings you to the Goosenbrunnen, stranger? Charisma 4th lie. I'm visiting from the Rhine-Ruhr Megaplex, and my friend Hans said the market here is second to none. I had to come see for myself. The older man smiles sadly. Well, maybe a few years ago that was true. These days, well, it's hard times all around, I suppose. But we're welcome to go on in, of course. Customers are always welcome. Oh, and talk to Corin if you want to hear some good stories about the market back in its prime. He's always happy to share a tale or two. The older man steps aside. Watch your step on the ladder there. Some of the steps get slippery when it's cold. I feel like this would just be inviting trouble. Man, I'm parched. So I'm just not gonna... I'm not gonna ask that. I feel like that would get me in trouble. Hey, Corin. No, don't go there. The man before you is of average build and in nondescript dress. He's leaning against the old wooden cabinet reading a book. As you approach, he looks up and casts a warm smile in your direction. Guten Tag, the name's Corin, friend. Can't say I've seen you around these parts before. Just passing through our... What can you tell me about this place? Yusenbunen? Well, it's my home for one, and we've got a small bar set up over there. But of course, you want to know about the market. His eyes light up. It used to be something to behold, my friend. One of the grandest markets in the city. You could find nearly anything in these stalls for the right price. It's a real shame, but little by little, things slowed down. Folks stopped taking the subway line so much. But I guess that's the way of the flux. I'm looking for information. Ever heard of a gang called the Ravengeister? Certainly, they've been spinning quite a tale in these parts of late. Hard to know anything for sure, though. One rumor says they hijacked freight out of the Frankfurter Tor. Then the next day, you hear about a sighting down in Alexanderplatz. Hell, just yesterday I heard someone claim they saw a member of the Ravengeister speed by in the U-Bahn tunnel clinging to the side of a train car. Ha! He leans closer. Between you and me, there's probably a gang called Surf Turf. Strange one, those. I heard they implant suction cups in their hands and feet. I guess they really like hitching rides in the U-Bahn trains? He shakes his head in amusement. That's the flux state for you, though, full of strange and unexpected. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? His face falls. Wish that I had, friend. It's too bad. This place used to be soaring with commerce. But now, hardly anything passes through here, I'm afraid. Folks around here are lucky enough to have a full meal at the end of the day. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things turn around for the better soon. Yeah, me too. Thanks for the friendly words, though. Most folks that come through here are either looking to bum a quick handout or steal what they can before disappearing down the line. Can I do anything to help? No, I don't think so, friend, but I thank you for the gesture. The man squints at you. He looks thoughtful. Say, have you ever heard the story of the Schinderhannes? I'm not sure. Schinderhannes was an outlaw centuries ago, back in the Napoleonic days. See, Schinderhannes was a thief. A greedy one, if you believe the stories. He and his gang raided up and down the Rhine, stealing for themselves. But something happened. The people of the Rhineland, they were inspired by the Schinderhannes. In time, they hailed him as a hero. He was stealing from the French, you see. He chuckles, then continues. I think something happened then, something surprising, even to Schinderhannes. I think because of this, perhaps he became the hero people wanted him to be. Maybe he did start stealing from the rich and giving from the poor. I don't know. The history books are confusing, to say the least. At any rate, the point is this, friend. I think that maybe, if enough people believe something can be true, it can change the truth of that thing. Perhaps if enough people here in Gussenburden have a hope to believe in, then our fate will change as well. Until then, well, we continue. Intelligence research between Robin. Oh, I wish. Unfortunately, I am not very smart. You seem like a pretty well-educated man. Why choose a life underground, here in this place? Ah, a fair question. Let's just say it was the best option at the time. At any rate, this is my home now, and I wouldn't abandon it simply because it has grown somewhat older and poorer. Now, is there anything else I can help you with? I'll be going now. Let's go up here. Look at the dresser. The drawers look to be handmade out of rusty sheet metal. Nothing of value catches your eye within. Nerfer Mitterbiter. I don't know what that means. Oh, there's another dancer. She looks exactly the same as the dancer back home. Goldfish. Oh, you're interesting. The woman starts a little at your approach, but she recovers quickly and beams brightly at you. The fox face on her headdress seems to grin as well. Her classically nasal American accent is obvious. Hey kiddo, share a drink with me? No thanks, just looking for information. Ever heard of a gang called the Ravengeister? The Raven Ghosts? Nope, never heard about anything like that. Sounds like something out of a fairy tale. I'm just traveling through. I heard there was a market, but, well, just look at this place. She waves her arms around in a wide circle, taking everything in, from the sadly shimmying women to the near-empty corridors outside. So I'm just having a drink with this fine gentleman here and then moving on. Where are you from? California Free States. During the whole Europe touring tour thing, you know? Besides getting me out of that hellhole, it's been a really good learning experience. Had some good fun, made some good friends. She clatters the ice around in her drink. You can smell the cheap gin from where you stand. But it's a hellhole everywhere these days. Can't drink enough to forget some things I've seen. I'm all for communism and anarchy and free love, but sometimes the F-state goes a little too far. How do you mean? It shows the things like the turf wars and the racists and junk, you know, like those humanist assholes, unpleasant. But that shit aside, I like the idea of a state without the man. Listen, my name's Goldfish. What's yours? Where'd you get a game like Goldfish? Oh, you know the saying, memory like a goldfish? Because I'm blonde, people think I'm just like that. Plus, they call my twin Guppy, so Goldfish made sense for me. So what was the thing you said? Robengeister? Ravengeister. Raven ghosts? Might be anything in Gussenbrunnen. Seems like everyone everything down here is a ghost. Ghosts of the past, ghost trains, ghostly thin folks pale for lack of sunlight. I need sunlight too. I like to joke I photosynthesize, but it just gives me so much energy. Energy these people don't have anymore. Her expression grows stern for a moment as she stares into her empty gin and tonic. Maybe I've been down here long enough. Maybe I'm a ghost too. Alright, that's it, Fräulein. You're officially cut off. Your total is 36 new yen. Can I at least buy something for my friend here? She's been talking with me a bit and hasn't had anything. No, you're cut off. I don't want you even sipping out of it. Dude, chill. Forget I asked. She turns to you with a shrug. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else, but thanks for being a pal. She's nothing else to say. Garbage. Smells like something died in here. Upon closer inspection, it's just moldy soy cakes. God, I would never be able to live in the Shadowrun universe. I don't like soy. Let's look at the ladder. Surface access has been welded shut, probably in an attempt to keep security tight. I feel like if something bad happened, no one will be able to get out then. Oh, that's probably where I need to go. Anything interesting down here? No. Odd merchant. Hello there, newcomer. I have many exciting and rare weapons for you to peruse. Instruments of death of the sort you'll not find anywhere else in Berlin. Care to take a look around? Despite the shopkeeper's claim, her inventory looks decidedly poor. Most of these weapons appear rusty and in ill repair. A particularly cobbled together pistol stands out from the bunch. Sure, let's see what you got. I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's much here that would interest me. Well, it's been lean pickings lately around these parts, and on top of that, there's the militia. They need most of the best pieces to keep us safe. Still, I've got some reliable weapons for home defense. What's up with the shoddy-looking pistol? Exquisite, is it not? The work of a master craftsman who used to live here, forged some of the finest slug throwers you'll find on this side of the Atlantic, and at that price, a steal. An interesting story. Let me take a closer look. Is it this one? The slapdash pistol? It's really fucking expensive, and its stats aren't great. And it's just shy of being 2,000 new yen, and I only have 5,000 new yen. I'll be going now, thanks. The gate appears to have been pried hastily open. There is a partially torn shipping label on its side. Most of the ink worn off, but the word Cruise Bazaar is clearly labeled. Uh-huh. Let's talk to this shopkeeper. I said, let's talk to the shopkeeper. Hi there, stranger. I've got a sale on today. You interested in some rations, salvage, some home remedies? Just looking for information. Ever heard of a game called the Ravengeister? The troll's eyes flicker back and forth. No, I can't say I have. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? The troll eyes flicker back and forth. I don't know anything about weapons. I just sell scraps of salvage and home remedies. Uh-huh. Well, thanks for your time. Also, there's a crate behind your shop that looks like it was marked for delivery to the Cruise Bazaar. You wouldn't happen to know about that, would you? The troll looks around nervously. No. I don't know anything about crates. Looking for some backup? It's just us here, friend. Okay, look, yeah, the Ravengeister came by yesterday, asked me to move the rest of the medical supplies, then they disappeared. I don't know where they went. I mean, hey, I gotta make a living, right? Look around here. They leave me this kind of score. I'm grateful. I already sold most of it in less than a day. Plenty of folks around here in need of real medical supplies. Alright, I've told you what I know, so we're cool, right? I don't know anything else. Relax, I believe you. Times are tough. I'm sure these people needed that stuff. Unfortunately, I don't have gang etiquette. You're not gonna hurt me? Thank you, stranger. Not everyone's so understanding around here. Look, if you're looking for the Ravengeister, try the old information kiosk on the other side of the market. I've seen some people coming and going through there. Anything over here? Nope. Come on. The militia captain stands at alert, her eyes tracking slowly across the market before coming to rest on you. Guten Tag. You look like you keep a close eye on this keys. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? No, I would have noticed that. I'm looking for a gang called the Ravengeister. Ever heard of them? No. She frowned slightly, and I wouldn't suggest asking questions about such things around here. Okay. Crates. These crates don't seem to be part of the shipment that was en route to the cruise bazaar. Scuff marks. You notice a set of scuff marks in the ground as if something heavy was dragged across here. The marks vanished into the wall. Inspect the nearby wall more closely. You find a small seam in the wall that suggests there might be a passageway hidden in the wall here, but you can spot no clear mechanism for opening it. Maybe we should ask around. This place looks like the place, so I'm sure someone might spill the beans. I think it has something to do with this. Ah, of course. The bathroom is locked off. The air exchange is repaired. Water is flooding out of the walls and stagnating in pools on the tile floor. You can smell the mildew from here. Beep. This appears to be an old U-Bahn information terminal. Judging by the system's design and current condition, it is quite old. As you approach, the machine makes a series of sputtering sounds in the dust-covered section. The dust-covered screen flickers dimly to life. Time since last update, 52:07:11. Oh, that's a lot. Error, primary database not sound. Restarting in offline mode. Restarting. The screen goes dark as the machine begins to emit a bizarre variety of clicking and chirping sounds. After an indeterminable amount of time, the screen finally shutters back to life. Welcome to the Gusenbrunnen station. Please select an option from the menu below. 3. Station history. I don't care. Route information. Let's try a custom query. Fuck, what are their names? Ravengeister. Damn. Can't hack it either, that's annoying. Say, what's up with those scuff marks on the ground over there by the information kiosk? I wouldn't know, I'm not in charge of the cleaning around here. She sighs. Hell, nobody is these days. The way things have been going. Hopefully our luck will turn sooner or later. It'd be nice to have some pride in this place again. Changing the subject, are we? I know you're hiding something back there. She stiffened, then suddenly her rifle was leveled at your chest. Fine, I don't know who you are or what you're doing sniffing around here, but you'd better come with me now. Our leader's going to want to speak to you. Her free hand reaches down to produce a thick leather blindfold. Whose leader? Come on. Of the Ravengeister. It's clear you know that much by now. And what makes you think I'll come along? Her rifle remained steady. Look, I don't want to do this any more than you do, but we're not going to let you keep sniffing around here. If you come with me, I guarantee nobody's going to stab you in the back. I'll bring you safely to see the Ravengeister. Very well, I'll go. That's a smart decision. She reaches out to blindfold you, and the world goes dark. Ah, of course. This is the same man you met in the market, but the friendliness is gone from his face. In its place is a cold, unwavering gaze. You should have stuck it to the market, stranger. If the Rabengeist wished to be found, we'd open a fucking cafe. Now what do you want of us? Say your piece. I'm from the Curious Bazaar. You stole a shipment of supplies bound for the keys and we want it back. He stares at you for a long moment, then breaks into a chuckle. Guess we were a little careless on that one. I figured with Monica Sheffer gone, the Cruise Bazaar would be an easy score. So that's why we're here? You stole your supplies and now you want them back? That's about right, yeah. Which I completely understand, stranger, believe me, but unfortunately, we need those supplies more than you do, so I'll have to graciously decline your offer to relieve us of your property. I can see things are hard around here, Corin, but I have to look out for my own keys, and that shipment belongs to us. Not from where I'm standing. Look, there's no need for bloodshed, I'll tell you what. It seems like you know what it's like to look out for a kiosk like this. It's not easy, right? You provide for these people. A haul like that shipment keeps Gus and Bruno from going hungry just a little while longer. It's our home. These are our people. I suspect you feel the same about the Cruise Bazaar. So I'm prepared to let you leave, just like that, knowing our little secret here and everything. In return, all you need to do is walk away. Just walk away and forget this ever happened. What do you think, stranger? I think in the flux, folks like us need to stick together. Why stay strangers? Maybe we can come to an arrangement that can benefit both of our kids. Corin raises an eyebrow. I'm listening. So there's you return our supplies, we send you a shipment of extra rations. In exchange, we agree to a truce of sorts. And then, I think the second one he'll like more. In the Cruise Bazaar, my friend Altuk has a series of data taps established to monitor nearby communication. You return our shipment, we let you listen in on those taps. I see. That's an interesting offer, friend. That would certainly let us scope out some more lucrative heists around here, assuming the taps are reliable. They are. I checked them just the other day. He pauses for a long moment, then cracks a smile. Very well, I suppose it's worth the price of a crate of guns. Your medical supplies are mostly gone, I'm afraid, but the weapon shipment is still being held in the locker at Frankenfurter Tor. I'll have it sent back to the Cruise Bazaar immediately. You'll let us in on those data taps? Ugh. Hiccups. Take the tunnel to the Cruise Bazaar and talk to Altuk. He runs a small cafe not far from the U-Bahn station. Tell him I sent you, and he'll set you up. Well, well. Corin looks thoughtful. Maybe things are looking up around here after. Or maybe things are looking up around here. I suppose friends and enemies can both be found in strange ways here in the flux. Glad we could have this talk, Corin. I'll be going now. You can see yourself out. He grins. Take care, stranger. You emerge from the U-Bahn station out into the familiar streets of the Cruise Bazaar. The energy here is a stark contrast to the weary, slowly drowning mood of Gissenbrunnen. The Kisberg is an island of hope, afloat still amidst the dangerous currents of the flux state, but it wouldn't take much for it to capsize. It's time to find Gennari and tell him the news. Welcome back. I took care of the business with the Rabengeister. They won't be hijacking your shipments anymore. A faint smile plays across the normally taciturn merchant's face. Yes, this much I know already. The missing shipment arrived just before you did, though I barely caught a glimpse of those who delivered it. How were you able to manage that? I made an arrangement with their leader, and they agreed to return the weapons. And you've accomplished all of this through diplomacy. Interesting. It is... Well, it is not what I would have done, but perhaps that is for the best. Here is your payment as promised, and should you need any new weapons, thanks to you, I have some new merchandise available. Yeah, gimme. A Super Warhawk! Fuck yeah, dude! The Rieger Super Warhawk is literally the best pistol you can get in base Shadowrun. Like, it's just the best damage. And it's just, why would you get anything else? Well... Okay, I guess if you want to have like a holdout or a light pistol instead of a heavy pistol, but I want it. Even from a distance, it's clear that something is not right with Lane. Coming closer, you see dried blood on his face and clothes, as well as a few discolored blotches that pass for bruises on Troll's skin. More noticeably, there is considerable damage to the man's left prosthetic leg, which he now tends to as antiquated as the leg itself. What the hell happened? Nothing. It's nothing. Someone comes at me, thinks me weak, and I show him otherwise. Leaning to one side, Lane's crutch is caked in more blood and what appears to be bits of hair. Tell me who did this to you. Just a punk with some bad ideas. Forget about it. Are you sure you'll be alright? I've suffered far worse, as you might imagine, and I don't need you or anyone else babying me. Alright, I'll leave you be. Hey, do you want me to, give you more money? Hello again, mein Fräulein. Freundin. I keep wanting to say Fräulein. I don't know what the difference is. What can I do for you? How's Alexander doing? He is adjusting with difficulty. Samuel shakes his head. Your friend Dietrich took a chance in sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in me. I'd like to talk about your organization. Are you accepting donations? Not at the moment. Okay. Time to talk to more people. The girl stares blankly into a vacant sky. She's still sporting a black eye and there are fresh tears on her cheeks, but she doesn't seem to notice them. Kim, are you alright? She shakes her head. I don't know. Have I ever been when I'm me? She then lowers her gaze from the heavens and regards you, her eyes showing slightly more clarity than before. Been thinking, remembering, wondering. You want to talk about that black eye now? Zach said not to. He said I might get hurt again. Did he do that to you? What? No, of course. Zach wouldn't hurt a fly. But the man who did this knew Zach. He said they used to work together before they came to the cruise bazaar. But he said that he wasn't allowed to stay because of Monica. She said that he was bad for the cruise bazaar and the man didn't like that. Now he wants to come back. He wants to be the new Zach. He told me he had better stuff. Let me try it. But then, she touches a finger to her black eye. He said to tell Zach that he was coming back to take what was his. If Monica kept him out, it was for good reason. If you say so. So what have you been thinking about? Kim hugs herself tightly around her midsection, drawing herself in and doing the impossible of making herself even thinner. I'm not sure I want to talk about it. I only ever talked about it with Monica. I'm here to listen, just like Monica was. Okay. She takes a breath to ready herself and then bites her lip as her eyes search the unseen. Monica said I would forget. She thought the Sims might help. In there, I'm strong, and I never have to lose anyone. But then I come back out here, while children play in the street, and I remember. Where I see Doc Escabel, and I remember. He was mad at me for losing her, but now I don't know if he even remembers. He looks right through me. But I did what he told me. I saw him every month, I took the medicine, I got as much food as I could. But he said it wasn't enough, that I would never be. Monica said a mother is always a mother, even when her baby dies inside her. She said she would go to heaven. I'm sure they're up there together. Monica will take care of her. I'll leave you be. Aw, that's sad. Hello again, Afer. What's up? Do you know anything about an organization called the Lodge? Dur's group, you mean? She smirks. Sure, I've done a few jobs for them. They pay well. The whole ominous secret organization thing they try to keep going is a little weird, but whatever. Money's money and they've got it. What can you tell me about Dur? Best that I can tell, he's just a middle-rung toady, like any other corporate suit that you deal with before a run. Only difference is that his organization isn't a corp. I think he's a little fresh face for what the Lodge has him doing. In the beginning, there were some credibility issues. I had a hard time taking the guy seriously. But then he started waving wads of Nuyen around, and that all cleared up in a flash. Afraid that I can't help you dig any deeper. He's an occasional client. She takes a sip of scotch and chases it with a long drag of her cigarette. Even if I knew more about Dur, I wouldn't tell you. Shadowrunners who kiss and tell have a funny way of dying young. I've been meaning to ask, what's up with the tattooed circuitry? Is it purely decorative, or... It is now. Wasn't always, though. She stretches her neck so that the light circuit pattern on her face can catch the light. What you're looking at used to be tattoo magic. Got it done when I was in Tokyo doing a job for the Yakuza. What were you doing for the Yakuza? Work. The kind that you don't talk about afterwards. When were you in Tokyo? About 3 years ago. Spent a few months there. It was a business trip, though. You know how it is. Straight from the airport to the hotel to the job site and back to the hotel again afterwards. Rinse and repeat until the job is done. Not the most exciting way to travel, but the pay was good. Tattoo magic, huh? That's a new one on me. Yeah, it was for me too. It's a meta magic thing, a way of quickening spells to a person, binding magic into the flesh that's almost impossible to get rid of. Anyway, long story short, I found a way to break it. Now it just looks pretty in the lamplight. Why break the magic? Were the tattoos cursed or something? She snorts. Cursed. Funny choice of words, but I guess that it applies. When I went in to work for the Yaks, they offered, no, insisted that I let them ink me, said I'd need it for the job. Long story short, that tattoos did boost my ability, but they also branded me, marked me as accused of property, and gave them an easy way of tracking me from the astral plane. Yeah, that sounds bad. It was. By the time I knew what was happening, it was almost too late to do anything about it. I did find a solution, but it wasn't pretty. What did you do? A long list of unpleasant things, starting with killing the guy who inked me. The whole thing ended in a pretty dark place. The upshot of all of that is that I can't go back to Japan. Ever. But at least I got my autonomy back. She pauses for a moment to light another cigarette. After she fills her lungs with smoke, she continues. So the moral of the story, I guess, is not to take an employer's word at face value. It's a lesson that every Shadowrunner needs to learn sooner or later, but I had a harder time with it than most. Now, can we talk about something else? Or better yet, can we shut up and have a drink or two? All of this yapping is making me thirsty. I'm getting thirsty. You said that you got a team in Mint. I'd like to hear a little bit more about them. She shrugs. They're good people. They get the job done. What else do you need to know? Their names for one. You know my team. I'd like to know something about yours. All right, sure. Why not? We've got Raktor. He's a rigger, an immigrant from the Russian Republic. Genius mechanic and engineer. The guy built his own crawler form drone, and he's impressive as hell as piloting it. There's Barracuda, the team shaman and face man. He's an elf in his mid-40s. He's got the whole silver fox thing working for him. He conducts most of our negotiations. Great card player. Hazchen is our decker and requisite tough guy. Troll, huge, covered in tats and piercings. You know the type. I'm pretty sure that he and Barracuda have a thing going on, but they'll never cop to it. She presents herself to you with an iconic smile. And then there's me. Between us, we keep our bases covered. It's just, I bet my crew's better. You should come to mine now. Sounds that way. How are they to work with? Solid. We're all on the same page, and nobody's afraid to speak his mind. We all get how a crew of anarchist runners is supposed to work, even Raktor, who's still pretty new to the scene here in Berlin. It gets tense from time to time, but it's supposed to get tense. Better that than have to defer to a leader and follow orders. We're all free, and we know it. Anyway, enough about them. I don't come here to talk about work. Was there something else you wanted to talk about? Nah, I gotta run. See ya. See ya. Cammy brightens up as you approach her, grinning wildly. Hey there, Altuk was just telling me you were around. I was wondering if you'd be willing to trade a story or two. Alright, what's the deal with you and Altuk? Well, the whole ears and hands things, plus the barista junk. That isn't news, and really, you ought to be quiet about that sort of thing. I knew that already. Well, alright, I suppose I've heard a lot about you and the Cruise Bazaar. It's only fair you know a bit about me. I never really went to school, pretty much been a street kid as long as I can remember, and there was so much to learn from people outside of school that I never really bothered. Makes it difficult to get a job, so all good street kids do. I chose a place to haunt with my friends and always hung out there. This was Altug's cafe, and he was super nice about me and mine. I felt more comfortable with him than ever with my Vater. Her eyes narrow only for the briefest moment of the word, and we talked a lot when we were waiting around for my friends. I must have been fairly comfortable with me too, otherwise he would have offered me a job. And really, what is it that you do? Technically I'm the barista, but like I said before, ears and hands. I run errands, I gather gossip, and sometimes I even make coffee. I much prefer his hookah options though. Real coffee makes me feel paranoid. Speaking of which, I should probably get back to work. See you around. Altug, a man named Kern. I sent a man named Kern to talk to you. I told him he could have access to your data taps. You did you? A bit presumptuous of you, is it? Kern and his gang have been hijacking shipments bound for the Cruise Bazaar, so we made an arrangement. He listens to your taps, they leave our goods alone, and steal from our enemies instead. Everyone wins. I see. Well, that sounds like a tidy little arrangement you've made then, Enfendim. The kind of arrangement I might make for myself. He laughs. The kind of arrangement Monica might have made. I will honor your promise, then. Corn and his gang shall have access to my data taps, save for those that listen in on the Cruise Bazaar itself. Ah, not that such taps exist, mind you. No, of course not. Now then, is there anything Bergask can get for you? It's killing time. We'll be going now.